Hi everyone! So today we're going to do some little junk journal, little like ephemera pieces. So from your creative studio, in their kits sometimes they send you these rub-on transfers. This one is from the February kit. It's absolutely beautiful with all its florals. And the last time I remember getting one was for fall. And you can just transfer these on to anything that you like. So these are just beautiful. So what I did was I put them on to fabric. So I have some done here, and you could just go ahead and take this and sew around the edge and sew it into a junk journal page. You could go ahead and glue these down. So here's just a couple samples. Look at this little cute butterfly. I also thought about putting like bling on here, or maybe a button. That would be really cute too. So I just did a few, and we are going to do one together. So I got this piece of fabric from Joann's. I got the cream color 100% cotton, and it was only a couple bucks. I did a quarter yard, and I still have plenty left. You honestly don't need that much at all. So you're going to come through, you're going to pick out which you want to use next. I didn't want to do these little circles. I thought those would be really pretty to maybe use for something else, like even put like a little photo inside. So I'm going to leave those plain. And then we're just going to come in here because I started cutting this one. And we are just going to cut out whatever image you like. So do this flower one. Then I take it to my fabric and I roughly guess how big it's going to be. So I try to do at least a quarter of an inch all the way around the image. More is better because you can always cut it down, but you can't add to it. So I just go, and just eyeball it. And then you're going to take your little rub-on transfer, take the little backing off. There we go. Do not touch your image because it is sticky. You can see it's like shiny right there and the rest is matte. So that is sticky. You do not want to touch that because you don't want any oils from your hand to get on there because it's not going to stick very well. You're going to put it wherever you want on your fabric. I'm going to leave mine right there. Then you're going to take your bone folder or whatever you have. This kit does come with this little plastic spatula right there, but I find my bone folder to be a lot stronger. I have done the back of scissors before, so you just take the back of your scissors and just hard press on there. Try not to shake the camera too much. And but these are very, very detailed all around the edges. You see like all the little edgings around the flower, the little tiny stem. So you want to make sure that you give this a really good rub. Because I'm going to try to do this and not shake you guys too much. I apologize if there is too much movement. So you're just going to rub over the whole image. And then to make sure that I got a good transfer, I did do the back, which you just need to kind of hold a little bit tighter your fabric to make sure that you don't move it around too much. And I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I can see like right here it's a little bit darker, so I know that that stuck very, very well right there in that little section. So I'm just going to give it a little rub. I'm going to do it back on the top. And then we are going to slowly lift. So you can see right here that the image is still stuck to the transfer. So I didn't get that piece down. So I'm going to pause it so I don't shake you guys too much. And I'm just going to, just really hard just rub everything to make sure I get all of that. Okay, so I just gave it, a good little rub, and it started to lift on its own already. So that's how you know that it's ready. So you're just going to carefully roll that clear little film off. And if anywhere it's stuck, you could just go ahead and lay that back down and then rub over it again. But that came off really nice and easy. So I like this little like frayed edges where you can see the little threading. So we're going to do that. So you're just going to start rubbing your fingers over the edge, and it's going to just start naturally pulling apart. And then we're just going to go ahead and just take off a bunch of layers. I wish I was had everything. I just ordered a blender. If I had everything I needed to start making my own paper, I would save these little fibers. I would go through and I would just cut them really small like this into like little chunks, and I would save these for making my own paper. So I might do that. I might just start getting a little baggie together and saving these little pieces, because I need a blender for my paper making kit, and I've looked a few times at thrift stores. And it's funny because I finally asked an employee, like, you know what, I've been looking for a blender, and they're like, oh, actually we don't get that very much. So their top items are like Instapots and coffee pots are like their main sellers. So I gave up and I just ordered, you know, like a $20 one from Walmart, whatever the cheapest one from Walmart was. So I'm waiting for that one to come in the mail. So like I said, you're just going to go around, just pull however many little fibers you like. I'm going to do a little bit more from the bottom over here. And maybe a couple more from this side. There we go. And then there is our little transfer. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous on to the fabric, but you can also do it to paper. I'm going to see if I have a book here. So I just ripped out a page from a book that I had picked up at the thrift store. And we're just going to do the same thing. We are going to go through and cut our image out and then lay it down on our book page, because you'll see that comes out really pretty also. So let's see. Maybe I'll do it right here. And we're going to do the same thing. We are just going to rub over our transfer, and then I'll come back to show you guys. So the transfer to the paper, it stuck beautifully. I hardly had to give it any little rubbing at all. So I can see that it's already starting to lift. You can see where it's not as dark, and it's just like with just barely pushing it, it's just popping right on up. So there we go. I think that looks so pretty onto paper. Then I'm just gonna cut. I'm going to cut a lot larger because I'm going to go through and I'm going to tear the edges on this one. So I'm just going to give it a torn look. Oh yeah, I like how that looks with the little tearing. Take just this little piece off. And then now we have another little ephemera piece. I really, really love how this looks on the book, but here's the little example right there. I think it looks beautiful both ways. It kind of just depends on what you want to do. I would say I would honestly use both of these in a little junk journal. I think that it's so pretty. I love going to the thrift store and just finding old little books. I also would go through like, oh, I would cut this part out right here. So it says like Paris 1919. I would cut this out just to have like another little ephemera piece. We cut it just a smidge more. And then you can glue this onto here. I would probably ink this a little bit and then glue it down. But just to show you guys, I would do something like that. So just find like little pieces from your vintage paper or from vintage books, and then just go ahead and make that into another little ephemera piece. Like I said, you could add buttons, you can add little pearls, you can add anything that you want to these. I think it would be so pretty. So that's our little video for today, just making our own little ephemera pieces for junk journals. If you guys have any questions, please let me know down below in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. And thanks for watching. Bye guys.